really, my goals is to like get better as a player and made to help out my team, and stay strong and healthy for them. You know.
And what about you, Donna?
I think, overall we want to win the NBC championship. I think just like TaQuandra said, just growing day by day, just making gains that's our hashtag for this preseason, just making gains each day and improving each day.
What difference have you noticed this preseason from last year's team? How have you kind of heightened your play?
I definitely think our practices have changed coming from last year as far as the high tempo and the coaches just getting us moving, continuing to get us going and just keeping that high tempo. So I think that will help transition into the game and with us offensively and defensively.
I agree with that. She said it all.
Feeding off of that, what did you learn from last year to do or not to do that you're using this year? Since you have so many returning players that you can all learn off of.
Last year, from this year's transition was basically knowing each other and having that chemistry. I mean, we did grow chemistry at the end of the season, but it was just where we needed the most. We kind of were individually playing instead of playing as a team, like one-on-one playing instead of trying to do it yourself, trying to help your team, thinking you could do it yourself instead of playing as a team.
So, Diamond, what says that you guys won't do that again this year?
Oh, that's definitely not going to happen this year. I mean, throughout this whole offseason and preseason, we've just been talking about, that record that we had and how we're great players. We have great players among us. And I think sometimes we just have to learn how to get out of ourselves and just stay mentally focused on what the goal is for the team and just, take our time and understand that we haven't arrived anywhere and we can't be complacent about anything and we have to continue to grind each and every day. And I think we've shown a lot of improvement in that area as far as through our off-season training and through our preseason, just continue to make those gains each and every day and stay focused on one goal at a time.
And you two are obviously leaders on this team, being up here on the podium right now. How do you make sure that the younger ladies are on the same page as you to make sure that you reach the goal that you're setting for yourself?
Well, I'm more of an action person before vocal, so I mean, I mostly try to do it through action. And, I mean, I do try to encourage also, and like in practice when we're playing, or even in pickup, I'll be like, "Yo, good shot! Don't stop taking them, even if you miss, or way to post up, stuff like that." Try to encourage stuff like that.
I think just communicating, making sure you're constantly communicating with everybody, checking on everybody, having that awareness of knowing when somebody's, down or not into it, just communicating with them, just saying it's going to be all right, we're going to get through this together. I think that constant communication helps, build the team and build trust within the team, and then everybody's, responding and, encouraging and just keeping that high energy going.
Diamond, what was it like for you? You sat out the previous season. Your team was very successful. Obviously, you step into a more difficult situation, and just trying to be a leader in a situation like that.
It was definitely a learning experience last year for me. I mean, coming off of an injury, mentally just trying to get back to where I was before I got hurt, and then trying to lead a team, that was a struggle for me. But I think I've learned a lot about myself and then just how I can help the team this year.
Well, I mean, so much happened, last year with injuries, people becoming eligible, into the season. Were those kind of things disruptions, or did you kind of welcome, obviously getting those players back and having players eligible? What did that do for the team just to add bodies, kind of during the season?
Well, I think it was a great thing, because now we have people who are healthy and that can play, and that's coming off of to being eligible. So that was a great thing, because we started out with 6.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though that 6 was a strong 6, we still needed, our team, and it wasn't like a full team. So once we got together, I mean, it was better.
What do you expect from Jaya and from Maria, sophomores? Had some flashes last year. What kind of steps do you think they can take?
I think they can take big steps. I mean, they've both shown great improvement throughout the offseason and preseason. Maria with her shot, so we know that we can count on her to knock down the three-point shot. And also Jaya with the three-point shot, but also using her body and size to post people up and get easy buckets in the paint.
No, I agree, because Jaya's our stretch forward, and she does both, and she does it great. And Maria, again, a spot-up three or just coming down, passing the ball or dribbling up, shooting the three, she's good at it. And she also can post also, so she has a double game also. So it'll be great for them.
TaQuandra, just real quick, how much do you pride yourself on being consistent with your production? Last year you pretty much good for about 10 and 8, or sometimes better than that per game.
My consistency is up and down, and I'm very hard on myself about it. But I'm learning now to, be more consistent with the help of my teammates and the coaching staff, and also like the training to keep me healthy and not being injured or prevent injury from Adam. So just like learning how to jump step better and control myself it helps a lot.
And I think also, like, from a leader standpoint, we have to be consistent as often as possible because we have, our teammates following us and listening to us. So our consistency within practice and games will only encourage them to, okay, I have to do my role. I have to do what I have to do for the team. So.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime. Come.
So the girls are just talking about the fact last year they learned to not play as individuals. And this year they're not going to play as individuals. Is that the biggest thing you took away from last year to this year, and do you see a change in that?
Well, I think as a coach, it's a totally different perspective after going into, 23 years of coaching and watching young teams, veteran teams, and how they all grow. Last year was a very young team and a very inexperienced team as far as logging minutes at the Division I level with the type of schedule that we had. And so they are used to being able to take over a game, whether it's coming from high school, it's coming from a junior college, even the ones that have grown through our system and have been a part of championship programs still haven't been on that court to truly experience and understand what every possession is like as a veteran out there. So we had just a very young team. I mean, that year, it was a great year to me because they got to learn so much. They got to play a lot. They got to, gain where other teams and young players, inexperienced players weren't playing. They played. They logged the minutes. They took the responsibilities for the wins, the losses, the close losses. And, at the end of the day, you're short on the bench. So there's a lot there. But I'm very proud of last year's team and what they accomplished as far as growing and maturing and really understanding what playing in between those lines are like, here at Wichita State. Very proud of them.
Looking forward to this year, what kind of goals and expectations have you and the ladies set for yourself?
Gains. That's our hashtag. Gain every day. Not to let a day go by that we don't gain an inch. Whatever it is, it's just that we don't want to go backwards. And I think that's very important for this team with the additions that we've added and being such a large team that we really focus in on what are great things that we do both offensively and defensively, and we understand that about each other. And I think they're really they had a great opportunity this summer to learn a lot about each other. But now that we're in practice, we're in our offensive system and our defensive system, and they got to pick their shots, their number one shot and their number two shot in our offense. So, it's interesting to hear them. They hold each other accountable to that number one shot. They really need it. They're looking for that number one shot, whether a shooter, the playmakers playmaking. So, they understand each other's strength by doing that, and now we have to stay within it, and we have to understand that timing of when to take shots, how many ball reversals, and that's where as a coach you continue to teach, and I believe as time goes and practices go, this team will only get better and better together, but the numbers are our strength.
And in your several years coaching, is there anything unique about this team or any of the other ones that you have?
It's bigger in two ways: taller and a bigger roster.
What does that 16 do for you, for practices, for depth, for just
I've always, I don't know what it is, and I just think having a team of 11, 12 has been a positive in my coaching career. And but I had to look back to see really how much pressure it began to put on players that are logging 30 minutes a game. Pressure, wear and tear over 4 years, 2 years of how physical and how demanding the style is at this level. And I truly believe numbers are important, and having the right numbers on our bench. And so it's just this team understanding that is our strength, and everybody has a big part in this team being successful, and there's not one role bigger than the other. They're all very, very important, 1 through 16.
Coach, last year, 7 games decided by 2 possessions or less through all the youth and injuries and everything. Now you've got 16, you've got JUCO experience. How realistic is it to go from 8 to, say, 20 win season this year and contend for titles?
I think it's realistic in the fact that, the ones that had a lot of shots and took a lot of shots, that won't happen this year. So they're going to have to be efficient in a certain amount of time that they will be in, but they will get to play harder. See, we'll be able to keep our pace of play. We'll be able to get higher percentage shots than maybe sometimes we settled for. We'll be able to make those paint shots, which we call black shots, those are high percentage shots, where these guys were really, really tired. Again, young team, really, really tired, and you're asking them to finish those shots, and those are the shots that we studied all summer long, the coaching staff, what really hurt us. And those are the things that we wanted to fix in the off season. And we started last spring with our footwork, our ball placement. That was our turnovers because of our feet, because where we placed the ball. Why did we not finish in the paint? Was it because we were not focused, or were we fatigued at that time? And so that's where I do think we will make those changes, and now it's just understanding, when we're in our areas and when we have our shot, to take that shot and to make that shot. And that's where the extra shots getting up in practice, out of practice, is very, very important for this group, because you're going to see 3 to 5 minute segments of hard play, and then we'll have substitutions.
With everybody back, do you go into early practices and towards the beginning of the season with preconceived notions about who's going to get the minutes, or with so many additions, is it kind of wide open?
It's wide open, wide open. And too, with any team, you go through injuries, you go through bodies having to sit, recover, the different things that you face. So, you have some people that are, catching up, some that have stayed healthy, fortunate for them. So that's where we're at, as people get healthier and they get in better shape. It will be a clear cut. And just because this 5 is starting for us, that doesn't always mean, your best player couldn't be coming in and playing with this 5. We're looking at true combinations that see big vision, don't just see one person. They have to see multiple people in this offense, but we're looking for people that play well together, because they classified themselves as scorers, shooters, playmakers, drivers. And when you're able to do that as a player, you know who you are and what you do for this team. So it's really important they understand. They got T. Lee in the corner. I'm driving to pitch it here because I need her to knock down the 3. They know when they have range in the paint 2 feet. I'm playing with her, so I'm going to penetrate her. I'm going to do whatever to be able to feed her the ball and get her the ball in the right time and space. So it's those that play well together will play minutes together. We have 16, so you're looking at 3 teams basically with a substitution here and there. I'd love nothing more as a coach than to be able to play all 16. It seems like injury has been very tough on us here of late. So to answer your question, no. There's no starters as of today.
Jai, last year starts early on with a shorter roster and then is coming off the bench. You played really well to start. I think even Valley Player of the Week 1 week. How did you see her grow even throughout the season, even when she was coming off the bench later on?
I wish I could say, she was able to have a lot of growth. She's actually had a very tough off season, health-wise. And, there's been so many things. Jai's from Louisiana, so it's been tough at home. How I think she has grown, and I'm not talking about on the court, but it's off the court, and her maturity and understanding. She gave the team a balance bracelet, and talked a lot about controlling the controllables, and that's all we can really focus on is what can we control, and not to worry about the rest. And when you go through injuries and you go through things that are life changing and family changing, it does it changes a young lady's look at life, and that's where I think she has grown the most, at this point. Jai is a scorer. She wants to shoot the ball. She wants the ball in her hands. All of us know that, and I think as she continues, to grow and log minutes and be healthy in practice, yes, she's going to continue to be, I think, a very, very strong point for us and someone that's very tough to score or to guard. I can't put it all in one word or maybe a couple words. It's the fact that these guys are older, and you finally have a true veteran group. And these new ones that have come in, they've been just a true, I don't know, it's just they've added so much excitement. When you see your upperclassmen smiling and talking about them, they mean a lot to them. And so I love our talent. I love our competitiveness. So if we stay true to the plan and trust the plan, I can't help but smile at what this team has the ability to do. And every team has the ability and has the chance or the opportunity to hang a banner. But what I look forward to is to coaching a different team, a more mature team that really understands now to some degree what it takes to win, because they want to win. But then too is establishing that trust as a coaching staff and a team that is going to trust us to guide them, through the good, the bad, the ugly, and we jump in and we stay on the same page this whole season long. So the challenge of being a year older, and a lot of talent. So I'm excited about it.
Talk about challenge. You're coming off of a season where 4 teams in the Valley had 20-plus wins. When you look at the schedule, how do you see, you talk about competitiveness, how do you see your group fitting in the Valley and trying to stand out?
Well, as we said, not a lot of our losses were, huge losses. They were very close losses. And as a coach, I put that on myself to figure some things out. And how I could figure things out from, I think calling some of the best in the country at the mid-major D2, talking to people at high school level. One, I was going to change my offense because I was going to put my players in situations that they didn't stall the ball. And some of stalling the ball was being tired and ball placement and footwork. So we changed our offense. We brought in talented individuals that could help us in different areas. So, I put that responsibility on myself, really to see the changes. I don't think I could put any more pressure on what they're already putting on themselves. They know the record. They know what's happened before them, and those are other teams. This is a new team. It's not the same team from last year, and that's what I love about a new year, a new season. Whether I'm coming off a championship year, a winning year, a losing year, it's always a new team, a fresh way to do things, and I love our approach to this new year.
Any further questions? No? All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.